Space, vast, mysterious, endless. For centuries, it's inspired our greatest dreams and deepest questions. But you don't need a PhD in astrophysics to understand how incredible the cosmos really is. From planets that rain molten iron to invisible lunar tails, from hidden oceans beneath frozen moons to the real reason we walk upright. These aren't just theories. They're facts. Astonishing truths uncovered by scientists using telescopes, satellites, and deep space missions. In this journey, you'll explore 15 mind-blowing facts about space that will change how you see the universe, and maybe even how you see yourself. So buckle up, because the cosmos is about to get personal. Fact 1. A planet where it rains, iron. WASP 76. Imagine a world where the sky doesn't rain water, but molten iron. 640 light-years from Earth, astronomers have discovered an exoplanet named WASP 76b, and it's one of the strangest planets we've ever found. This planet is tidally locked to its star, meaning the same side always faces the sun. One hemisphere is in eternal daylight, while the other remains in perpetual darkness. On the day side, temperatures soar to over 2,400 degrees Celsius, hot enough to vaporize metal. Iron literally turns into gas and floats in the atmosphere. Then, powerful winds, traveling at thousands of kilometers per hour, carry this vapor to the night side, where it's much cooler. And there something astonishing happens. The iron vapor condenses, forming droplets that fall from the sky as iron rain. Yes, it literally rains metal on this alien world. Scientists call this extreme weather physics, and WASP 76b is a perfect natural laboratory to study it. This planet challenges our imagination and proves that the universe is home to far more bizarre phenomena than we ever thought possible. And by the way, we have a smaller example of tidal locking much closer to home. The moon is also tidally locked to Earth. That's why we always see the same face. Fact 2. The moon has a hidden tail, and it wraps around Earth. The moon has a secret. Every month it grows a giant invisible tail that wraps around the Earth, like a glowing cosmic scarf. This tail isn't made of fabric or light. It's made of sodium atoms, millions of them, gently escaping from the lunar surface. But how do they get there? Tiny meteorites constantly bombard the moon. These impacts kick up particles of sodium from its surface, flinging them into space. Over time, this creates a long, thin stream of atoms, a sodium tail that stretches for hundreds of thousands of kilometers. And here's the most amazing part. Once a month, during the new moon, the Earth passes right through this tail. Even though it's completely invisible to the naked eye, powerful telescopes can detect it. The tail creates a faint golden glow in the sky, about 50 times dimmer than the human eye can see. This sodium cloud is so large it forms a glowing sphere 5 times the size of the full moon, softly wrapping Earth in lunar particles. But don't worry, this isn't dangerous. The moon's tail is harmless. In fact, it's beautiful. A quiet, glowing reminder that our closest celestial neighbor is not just a rock in the sky, but a dynamic, evolving world, still interacting with Earth in mysterious ways. So next time you look up at the moon, remember, one side always stares at us, and the other is never truly dark. It's just hidden from view. Fact 3. The moon is shrinking, and it quakes. You may think of the moon as cold, silent, and unchanging, but it's not. The moon is alive, geologically speaking. Over the past hundreds of millions of years, our moon has been shrinking. Scientists have discovered that its diameter has decreased by about 45 meters. Not much, but enough to cause stress on its crust. Why is this happening? Deep beneath the lunar surface, the moon is cooling down. As it loses heat, its interior contracts. Just like a grape drying into a raisin, the moon is slowly pulling inward, causing its surface to wrinkle and crack. These cracks are visible from orbit. Sharp cliffs called lobate scarps, stretching for miles. They're the scars of a shrinking world. And with these changes come moonquakes. NASA has confirmed that the moon quakes, sometimes violently. Some of these moonquakes register over 5 on the Richter scale. They're caused not by tectonic plates like on Earth, but by the stress of contraction. The moon is literally crumpling in on itself. Astronauts on the Apollo missions even placed seismometers on the moon, and the data showed tremors happening regularly. So the next time you look up at the moon, remember, it's not just a passive satellite. It's shifting, cracking, trembling. A shrinking world quietly evolving, orbit after orbit. Fact 4. Mars has quakes. The red planet is still alive. For years, scientists believed Mars was a quiet, frozen desert, a dead planet, but they were wrong. In 2019, NASA's InSight lander made a historic discovery. Mars quakes. or as scientists now call them, Marsquakes. Using highly sensitive instruments, InSight detected seismic activity rumbling beneath the Martian surface. Some quakes were small, barely detectable. Others were strong enough to shake the entire lander. In fact, InSight recorded more than 300 Marsquakes, some occurring twice a day. That's right, Mars isn't sleeping, it's trembling. These quakes reveal something crucial. Mars still has internal heat. It still has movement below its crust. It's not geologically dead, just less active than Earth. Even more mysteriously, scientists detected repeating magnetic pulses happening every night at midnight near the lander's location. No one knows exactly why. Maybe it's leftover magnetism from an ancient magnetic field. Or maybe something is happening below the surface that we can't yet explain. So while Mars may look lifeless from space, deep down, it's restless. It quakes, it pulses, and it whispers secrets through its soil, waiting for us to listen. Fact 5. Beneath the ice of Europa lies a vast ocean far beyond Earth. Orbiting the giant planet Jupiter is one of the most intriguing worlds in our solar system. A small frozen moon named Europa. At first glance, Europa looks cold, barren, and lifeless. Its surface is covered in cracked ice, stretching for thousands of kilometers. But beneath that icy crust lies something extraordinary. Scientists believe that a massive salty ocean exists underneath Europa's frozen shell. An ocean that may be twice the volume of all Earth's oceans combined. How do we know this? Well, spacecraft like Galileo and Hubble have gathered data showing signs of liquid water below the ice, such as geysers, magnetic readings, and surface shifts. Europa's surface is constantly cracking and healing, like sea ice in Earth's polar regions. This hints at movement beneath the crust, caused by tidal forces from Jupiter's immense gravity, which may heat the moon's interior enough to keep the water in a liquid state. But here's what makes Europa so fascinating. Where there's water, there might be life. Although scientists haven't confirmed the presence of life, Europa is one of the top candidates in the solar system for harboring it. Microbes, extremophiles, or maybe something entirely unknown, could be swimming beneath that frozen surface. NASA is already preparing a mission called Europa Clipper, which will fly close to the moon to scan its ice, measure its ocean, and search for signs of life. So while Europa may seem like just another icy moon, it might be home to one of the greatest discoveries in human history. Fact 6. A star is slowly turning into a planet. Thanks to a black hole, somewhere in a distant galaxy called GSN 069, a cosmic drama is unfolding. A star is being slowly devoured by a black hole. And the result? Over trillions of years, that star may become a planet. It sounds impossible, but here's what scientists have discovered. Astronomers noticed that every 9 hours, this distant system releases a burst of X-rays. These flashes are far brighter than expected, and they're regular, like a heartbeat in space. After careful observation, they realized what was happening. A once massive star is orbiting dangerously close to a black hole. With each orbit, the black hole rips off a little more material from the star. It's like a slow-motion tidal wave of destruction. The star is losing its outer layers bit by bit. Over time, the star, once a red giant, has been stripped down to a dense white dwarf. And if this continues, the star may lose enough mass to become similar in size and structure to a gas giant planet like Jupiter. This process, star-to-planet transformation, is incredibly rare. But it shows just how powerful and patient black holes can be. They don't always destroy in a single moment. Sometimes, they slowly reshape the universe, one bite at a time. So somewhere out there, what was once a burning sun is now a shrunken remnant, on its way to becoming something entirely new. From a life-giving star to a dark, cold world. Fact 7. Could there be life in the clouds of Venus? Venus, the brilliant evening star shining in our sky, may hold a secret hidden high above its scorching surface. In 2020, astronomers made a shocking discovery. They detected phosphine gas in the atmosphere of Venus, a rare, flammable compound that on Earth is almost always associated with living organisms. This raised a tantalizing question. Could something be alive in the clouds of Venus? To understand why this is such a big deal, you have to understand what Venus is like. The planet's surface is a true hellscape, with temperatures over 480 degrees, 900 degrees, crushing atmospheric pressure, and no liquid water. It's hot enough to melt lead, and the air is filled with toxic sulfuric acid. Life as we know it can't survive there. But 50 to 60 kilometers above the surface, in the upper atmosphere, things are very different. Temperatures are much cooler, the pressure is similar to Earth's, and clouds swirl in thick layers. It's in these clouds that scientists found phosphine, a gas that's difficult to produce without biological processes. On Earth, phosphine is made by certain types of bacteria that thrive in low-oxygen environments. So, could microbes be floating in the clouds of Venus? We don't know yet. The discovery doesn't prove life exists. There might be a strange, unknown chemical process at work, but it's enough to keep searching. And that's the beauty of space exploration. Sometimes the most unlikely places, even the most inhospitable worlds, can surprise us. In the thick yellow skies of Venus, hidden among the acid clouds, there just might be something alive, waiting to be found. Fact 8. The largest water reservoir in the universe. A cosmic cloud. Imagine the biggest body of water you've ever seen. An ocean, a lake, maybe all of Earth's oceans combined. Now multiply that by 140 trillion. That's how much water scientists discovered in a cosmic cloud floating in space. The largest water reservoir ever found in the known universe. This cloud isn't nearby. It's located over 12 billion light-years away, surrounding a supermassive black hole at the center of a quasar. But what makes it special isn't just its size. It's the fact that water exists there at all. For a long time, astronomers didn't expect to find water in such distant regions of space. But this discovery changed everything. It showed that complex molecules like H2O can form even in the early universe, and in incredible quantities. So where did Earth get its water? That's still a mystery. Some scientists believe that icy comets and asteroids delivered water during the planet's early years. Others suggest that organic molecules in space, when exposed to heat and pressure, can release water and even oil, the kind we once thought only came from fossils. One experiment in a lab simulated space conditions by heating cosmic dust. The result? Water and hydrocarbons, the building blocks of life and fuel. This suggests that Earth's oceans may have partly cosmic origins, and that oil, too, could come not just from dead organisms, but from interstellar chemistry. So when you sip water from a glass, you might be drinking a molecule that's older than the sun. And somewhere out there, in a giant invisible cloud, the universe still holds oceans, floating among the stars. Fact 9. Our galaxy may hold 6 billion Earth-like planets. Look up at the night sky. Every star you see could have planets orbiting around it, and many of them might look a lot like Earth. According to recent astronomical data, our own Milky Way galaxy could contain up to 6 billion Earth-like planets. Yes, billion. Researchers estimate that about 1 in every 5 sun-like stars has a rocky planet orbiting within its habitable zone, the region where temperatures could allow for liquid water to exist. These aren't just any planets. They're worlds with solid surfaces, likely similar in size and composition to Earth. And with the right conditions, water, atmosphere, chemistry, they might even host life. Now consider this. The Milky Way alone contains over 100 billion stars. Multiply that by 6 billion Earth-like planets, and then imagine the number of galaxies in the universe. Over 2 trillion. Suddenly, the idea that we're alone in the cosmos doesn't seem very likely. Some of these Earth-like worlds may be too young, too hot, or too cold. But even if just a fraction of them are habitable, that could mean millions of planets where life might exist, from microbes to civilizations. And we've only just begun to explore. Missions like Kepler, TESS, and the James Webb Space Telescope are helping us find more and more of these distant Earth cousins. And maybe one day, we'll find a planet that doesn't just resemble Earth, but feels like home. Fact 10. A supernova. Maybe the reason we walk upright. It's strange to think that something happening light years away might have changed the way we walk on Earth. But scientists now believe that a supernova explosion, a massive stellar detonation, may have influenced human evolution. About 2.5 million years ago, a star near our solar system exploded. The blast released intense cosmic rays that traveled across space and struck Earth's atmosphere, triggering a chain reaction. The radiation caused widespread lightning storms, especially over the northeastern region of Africa, where our early ancestors lived. These lightning strikes led to massive wildfires, burning dense forests to the ground and transforming the landscape into open savannas. Suddenly, survival required a new adaptation. Standing upright to spot predators, scan the horizon, and travel longer distances across the grasslands. According to this theory, our shift to bipedalism, walking on 2 legs, wasn't just about anatomy or brain evolution. It was about environmental pressure, shaped by an explosion in deep space. It's a mind-blowing idea that the death of a distant star may have sparked one of the most important changes in human history. The cosmos doesn't just surround us, it shapes us. in ways we're only beginning to understand. Fact 11. The most powerful explosion since the Big Bang. In 2019, astronomers witnessed something truly astonishing. A cosmic explosion so massive it shattered every record. It happened in a cluster of galaxies known as the Ophiuchus supercluster, home to thousands of galaxies, all swirling in a vast sea of gravity and gas. At the heart of this supercluster lies a supermassive black hole, and it erupted. The blast released an unimaginable amount of energy. Astronomers estimate that it equaled 20 billion trillion, 20 followed by 18 zeros, megaton bombs, going off every millisecond for 240 million years. This explosion carved out a crater in space so huge it could fit 15 Milky Way galaxies inside it. Just think about that for a moment. We're talking about the most powerful event in the universe since the Big Bang, and it happened quietly, far beyond the range of human senses. No flames, no sound, just the slow, colossal movement of energy, light, and gas on a scale our minds can barely comprehend. This explosion reminds us of the sheer raw power of black holes, not just as destroyers, but as cosmic engines that shape galaxies, ignite stars, and move matter across millions of light years. It's a silent force. But in the language of the universe, it speaks louder than anything we've ever heard. Fact 12. Pluto has an atmosphere taller than Earth's. Tiny, distant, and once downgraded from planet status, Pluto still manages to surprise us. When NASA's New Horizons spacecraft flew past Pluto in 2015, it discovered something few scientists expected: an atmosphere, and a complex one at that. Even though Pluto is smaller than Earth's moon, its atmosphere rises to astonishing heights, farther above the surface than Earth's own atmosphere. It's made mostly of nitrogen, with traces of methane and carbon monoxide. And instead of forming a single uniform blanket, Pluto's atmosphere consists of more than 20 distinct layers, each with different temperatures and densities. These layers shimmer like glass sheets stacked atop one another, and they can bend sunlight, casting long, eerie glows during Pluto's sunrises and sunsets. But here's what's even stranger. This atmosphere is seasonal. As Pluto orbits the Sun in its long 248-year journey, its distance from the Sun changes dramatically. When it moves farther away, parts of the atmosphere freeze and fall back to the surface like snow. When it gets closer, they evaporate again. It's a fragile dynamic system, dancing between gas and ice. So even at the edge of our solar system, where the Sun is just a bright star in the sky, Pluto reminds us that planetary magic can happen anywhere, even in the coldest, darkest corners of space. Fact 13. A supernova may have wiped out Earth's ozone layer. Earth has faced many extinction events throughout its history. Volcanoes, ice ages, and asteroid impacts have all played their part. But 360 million years ago, something even more distant may have caused a mass extinction. A supernova explosion, more than 65 light-years away. Scientists believe that a nearby star reached the end of its life and exploded in a violent burst of radiation. That radiation didn't destroy Earth directly, but it stripped away our planet's ozone layer. And without the ozone layer to shield us, deadly ultraviolet radiation from the Sun poured in, devastating life on the surface. Around 75% of all species disappeared, marking the end of the Devonian period. Unlike the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs, this killer left no crater, no debris, and no direct evidence. Only cosmic fingerprints, chemical signatures, and ancient rocks and fossil records that point to a massive radiation event. What's even more unsettling? There could be dozens of stars near our solar system that are on the edge of going supernova. And if one of them explodes too close, we might find ourselves reliving history, but this time as the species under threat. The universe is beautiful, yes, but it's also unpredictable, a place where life and death can be determined by the final breath of a distant star. Fact 14. Over 300 Marsquakes and mysterious midnight pulses. In 2018, NASA's InSight lander touched down on Mars with a mission to study the red planet's inner secrets. What it found was beyond anything we expected. Using an ultra-sensitive seismometer, InSight detected something astonishing: Marsquakes, seismic tremors shaking the surface of Mars. Over time, scientists recorded more than 300 of these quakes. Some were tiny, barely a whisper. Others had strength, strong enough to be felt if you were standing there. Marsquakes proved one thing: Mars is not geologically dead. Its interior still moves. Its crust still cracks. Something is still happening, deep below the surface. But that wasn't the only surprise. Each night, almost like clockwork, InSight detected strange, repeating magnetic pulses occurring right around midnight. They were subtle, rhythmic, and completely unexplained. What causes them? No one knows. Are they echoes of Mars' ancient magnetic field? Buried minerals responding to temperature changes? Or something else entirely? These midnight signals are still one of Mars's great unsolved mysteries. They remind us that even on a cold, quiet planet, strange rhythms can echo through the soil, a whisper from the past, or maybe a signal from something yet to be discovered. Fact 15. Space is making us weaker. Literally, space may look majestic and peaceful, but for the human body, it's a silent battlefield. When astronauts spend long periods in space, their bodies begin to weaken, not because of disease or age, but because of one missing force: gravity. Here on Earth, gravity constantly pulls on our muscles and bones, forcing them to stay strong. Every step, every movement is resistance training. But in the weightless environment of space, that pressure disappears, and the body starts to relax. Muscles begin to shrink. Bones lose mass at rates of 1 to 2% per month. It's the equivalent of accelerated aging. Even the heart, which no longer works as hard to pump blood upward, starts to lose strength. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station must exercise for 2 hours every day just to maintain their health. They use specialized equipment to simulate gravity and resist the body's natural tendency to fall apart. And when they return to Earth, it takes weeks or months to fully recover, to walk normally, to regain balance, to rebuild bone density. It's a reminder that our bodies evolved for one world, this one. If humans ever hope to live on Mars, the Moon, or beyond, we'll need to find ways to protect ourselves from the slow, invisible damage of zero gravity. Because space isn't just cold and vast. It's a place that quietly erodes us, molecule by molecule, unless we fight back. The universe is more than stars and planets. It's a living story, one we're only just beginning to understand. Each fact you've heard today is a thread in a much larger tapestry, a reminder that the cosmos is full of wonder, danger, and breathtaking beauty. We've discovered that moons shrink, planets quake, and stars can become planets. That life might exist in the clouds of Venus, and that something as distant as a supernova may have shaped human evolution. But perhaps the most humbling truth of all? We are part of this universe, made from its dust, moved by its forces, and connected to its fate. So next time you look up at the night sky, remember, you're not just looking at space, you're looking at home.